PCE data release in the next couple of hours could give us some incredible trading setups. Guys, this is the daily entry. I'm covering you on day trading setups for things like the NAS, Dow, oil, gold, and of course, BTC. Let's go. Now, the big news yesterday, slightly hawkish FOMC. So that didn't go well in the end. We saw a market pump. We had some beautiful bounces from some of our zones yesterday, including gold. But then the market obviously melted down afterwards. And now what is the next continuation play? Look at this. It's PCE inflation data, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. Guys, this is going to be a market mover. So if we do get some fake outs to the up or downside, I think we know exactly what we need to do with these guys. Now, just picking up from yesterday, turned into actually quite a good day. I've added some more profit to this trading account here on UBIT. You can see it closed out nicely with that final Dow bounce as well. So now I'm 230% up on this account that I started last Thursday. So almost time to reset this one and reload another one. And then in terms of the current challenge that I have got running at the moment, the 3-day bootcamp, guys, we've left registrations open. We've had a couple of banger sessions and we still have a couple of sessions left, including a live trading session in the next couple of hours, as well as a psych session, and then 2 or 3 more live trading events coming exclusively to you guys if you are part of the challenge. Now, yesterday was a rough sort of start to the day. We had a stop on the Dow, but I finished 30% up on that $1,000 that I loaded in that account. So guys, come along. We're going to trade these daily entry levels and see if we can catch a couple more bangers. Okay, let's get into some of the setups here today. What are we going to start with? Oil is obviously the big one. And once again, I'm not super excited about looking for an oil trade today unless it's a long, ride it back down at these lows. So kind of watching oil now and just waiting, using this as a guide more than anything at the moment. So if we do get an oil push today, I would say there's a strong possibility that oil does reject 87.5 into 88, and that could be a market bounce that we are looking for in the other assets. If oil does push higher, guys, again 90, I still think you should get a rejection there. But in terms of trades, I'm not feeling comfortable looking for shorts just yet on oil. I'd like to see the move back down again to test 78, somewhere in that type of zone. So using it as a guide. In terms of the NAS, well, I think you guys know by now this is a miserable picture and we might just be tracking our way lower down. Obviously notable is that blue line, the 200-day MA. We should get a reaction off that on the weekly chart, but you can see there's a big horizontal down here at 26,000, and I think it's just a matter of time before we go and hit that big level. So let's get into our first setups for the day, and PCE literally around the corner. So by the time you're watching this, you're probably going to be an hour away or round about that PCE data release, and that is either going to pump us or dump us into some key zones. So in terms of what I'm looking for today, highest conviction shorts have to be up here. Look at these wicks, 1, 2, 3. I've got a 618 as well. There's lots of liquidity in that area. Slightly tricky because there are 3 easily defined wicks, but I would say, guys, comfortable shorts. 27,980 into 28,100. Comfortable looking for shorts there. Today, we might be catching those live. Now, if you're feeling a little bit of a degen today, well, there's a slightly earlier level that you can test. I do have some wicks. I do have a regular 618, and you can see this VWAP is starting to creep its way down, and this VWAP is acting as resistance. So we should get some kind of action in that zone potentially. So 27,580 into about, say, 27,660 looks like a possible rejection here today on the NAS. Okay, it might not be a big one. We got to keep an eye on our oscillator. Remember, our best trades are when our oscillator is starting to reverse or fall over at resistance. That is going to dish out the proper bangers. Now, in terms of a PCE drop, or maybe the market starts melting down at some point today, I would say there's a reasonable possibility that traders buy up this region, 26,980. This is a wick in that zone. But in terms of conviction, guys, a little bit lower down, you want to be watching this long zone. I think if we sweep that area, there's a strong possibility that we bounce on the NAS. 26,870 looking pretty good to me. So that is going to be my main trade zone on the NAS during the course of the day. Then in terms of the Dow, let's look at this one. We caught a banger yesterday after first actually getting a stop. The second zone absolutely exploded and they sold this one off relatively quickly. Now, I did do the updates in the Chart Hackers Discord while this was all happening. So if you are watching the daily entry, you can find all my updates during the course of the day in the Chart Hackers Discord. You can see I provide updates on the trades and everything that I'm doing there. And yesterday we covered obviously those final moves that we saw happening on the Dow. Okay, so that turned into a banger in the end. Just go into the show description, guys. You can join the Chart Hackers Discord over there. Now, where are the trades for today? What is looking interesting? And basically there's 4 scenarios that make sense to me at the moment. Let's start with shorts. If we get a run in the market, you can see at the moment our oscillator is looking nice and bullish. So there's no short available right now. You can see this thing might want to push a little bit higher up. If it does, where's the first conviction short? Pretty simple for me. Look at this VWAP, resistance, resistance, resistance. Look at that wick. Look at that 0.5. I'm pretty confident we get a reaction. 52,196 looks okay for me there for a short on the Dow. Obviously, guys, remember, perfect world, you want an overcooked oscillator. You want to see these types of situations higher up. You want to see this thing starting to turn over or print reversals, and that increases your probability of getting that short right. If you want these indicators, obviously it is in the show description there for you as well. You can go grab it there. If you're in the Chart Hackers Discord, there's actually a discount on these indicators. Okay, if we do push higher up, the next obvious zone, undercarriage, 786, looks like a banger, 52,603. If we go higher, guys, I'll deal with this in the Discord. I don't think we need this one yet. 52,603 looks good. 52,196 for shorts. Then in terms of longs, I think if you want to do degen things and you're desperate to push buttons, 51,485 into 51,5. I'm calling that the degen zone. Where's the high conviction play today? 51,300. I've got a macro 236 pull here. I've also got some wick actions and things like that. So my conviction long for today at these lows on the Dow. Hopefully we're going to catch one of these setups live on the live trading that we are going to be doing. Now remember, all of these charts you see, they go into the Chart Hackers Discord directly after the show, and you can watch me trade live on the Chart Hackers YouTube there, this box over there, and that happens pretty much every day. So we're going to be live probably in a few hours from when you're watching this. You can catch us trading everything live obviously during that session. Okay, let's get into the next big one. Gold was an absolute screamer, guys, and I show you again and I tell you again, patience, patience, patience. How long did we wait for this gold setup? And look at this drop into the slot. 4,002 was the limit order, and look at that absolute rocket out of the zone. Okay, so well done if you waited on the patience. That helped me get out of a bit of a hole yesterday after taking that first stop on the Dow and turned into a banger. Now gold, I'm not really looking or hunting fresh trades today unless we see a push up into 4,130. This looks obvious to me. 786, some wick fill action up here. We know we've used up this liquidity in this zone, and if we do get a push up into that area, we're going to print some bearish divergence and maybe a rollover on gold. So gold tentative shorts 4,130, and then higher up I've got tentative shorts 4,160. Possible long, guys, I'd say it's not going to give us the same punch that it gave us yesterday, but it will give us some kind of reaction. Look for a long on 4,000. Just don't get married to it. Keep it short. Keep it sweet. Okay, now let's talk about Bitcoin and things like that. I'm still holding my Bitcoin short at the moment. As you can see, I did actually add a little bit to it yesterday, and it's acting as quite a nice hedge for me. Then in terms of alts, I gave some positions obviously on the Chart Hackers live trading sessions and obviously in the Chart Hackers Discord, and you can see I've taken the near long that I gave you guys. I started building a hyper long position, a hyper liquid position, virtuals doing things, dupes doing things, but we'll talk about that all in the live trading show later on today. Now, in terms of BTC, the big dog, what are we going to do with this guy? And essentially nothing has really changed since yesterday. You can see our local support region held, that 50-day MA doing its job, giving us a bounce there on BTC. And in terms of shorts, guys, I still believe we can get a rejection in the zone for BTC. This is roughly where my short entry is, 65.1 into 65.5. I think we can reasonably look for a short there on BTC. If they do squeeze it higher, you're simply looking at 66 into about 66,400 for a possible Bitcoin short. Eyes on the oscillator. You can see earlier today in my market report, I was warning the hackers that if we lose this level, we're going to drop lower. And you can see subsequent to that, they've given us a toe curler. So simply what we want to see now is a lower high on the oscillator and a new high on the Bitcoin price, and that should drop us lower down. So that is what I'm looking for in BTC in terms of shorts. In terms of longs, if we get a hard sell, I think it's a little bit of a lottery in this type of region here. We've used up this bounce zone. I'm not that confident on using up that wick. So in terms of what I'm looking for, liquidity sitting down here, 62,350 all the way down, guys, 61,400. There's some interesting zones in that area. That is where I want to engage in some fresh longs today on BTC. So keeping it super simple here at the moment. We're going level by level, step by step. We're not getting greedy, keeping it nice and tight here, and just play those reaction zones and keep it safe. Guys, that is your daily entry. Chart hackers, you can catch in this box over here. See you live trading later on.